Alrighty guys, welcome back to the IPTL Premier Division, I believe. We do have Startale. They are overall 2-0 in the Group A for the Premier Division. And then of course Prime on the other side, they're actually 0-2, so it'd be really nice for them to get a win. But in the bottom, the right corner for Prime, it's going to be Maru, the Marine King Prince. He had a few months where he was dominating really well, but fell off a little bit. Zergs has been his problem as of late, but who hasn't had problems with Zergs? And the top left corner guy is going to be Startale Avenge, getting the series up 1-0 over Creator.
That's right, and this is a very cool map, of course, been around for a long time now. And as we mentioned before, but people, of course, accumulate over the course of the broadcast, we are switching up our map pool quite considerably for next season. We are, in fact, going to do one more, I believe it's one more season in, let's see, how's it? We're switching over to Heart of the Swarm very soon is what I'm trying to get at.
IPL 7 should be Heart of the Swarm.
That's right.
Not confirmed, but it should be.
IPL 7, likely Heart of the Swarm, yes. And soon to be IPTL is going to switch over too, but I forgot if it's just the direct next season, but I think it's the one after that. Don't hold me to that, folks, but we'll figure it out. So we're certainly going to be switching over very soon.
I hope so, man. I really like Heart of the Swarm. It's all I play on the side, except for when we play in our After Hours Gaming League. But nonetheless, looking into Avenge, he's moved into a gateway, followed up into a gas really quickly here. This is pretty standard. You just get a read on what your opponent's going for, don't mind any gas, follow up the expansion, and then looks the same here from Maru. But going back to those maps, there's a couple of them that I really like. Abode and then Starry Night.
I love Starry Night.
Yeah, Starry Night.
I love Starry Night.
We actually went over them in the Twilight Council. Got a lot of positive feedback on that, but there are some other ones. I believe Sidewinder is a really nice one as well. Just get out there and check them, guys. You really got to look at it. Like we said, they are on Reddit at the moment.
Now, I know it's controversial, but I'll go ahead and directly address this. I know there's been a couple of people who have said, oh, well, these all seem very familiar maps. Obviously, Pro League's been doing some very crazy things with their maps.
Yeah.
They have some asymmetrical ones. They have some that are
Rocky.
Rocky is a good way to put it, very mildly, that have a lot of different obstructions, whether they be minerals or something like that placed in the middle of the map. And there was a reason that we didn't decide to go for any that were too crazy. The reason being, of course, that we play in all-kill formats every day. Now, some of those kinds of maps may make their way into individual leagues where we have people that have vetoes on a regular basis and they can knock out maps that don't favor their race necessarily. But when you play an all-kill format, you don't want a map that's 80% Terran favored and then, oh, well, guess who's coming in next?
Yeah,
it's going to be a
9.
Terran to knock out this person, and yeah, they're going to have this map available.
Yeah, I just want to make it sure it's as even as possible now. Potentially also as well, if we can get these maps to work out for you guys and you do enjoy them, the map making community is so ready to make new maps. Like, they are so excited for this opportunity. So, again, if they get through, perhaps in the future we could have maps that may be a little bit on the different side. For now, we're going with safe and we're getting it right, and these maps are really cool. So, again, check them out. But it looks like we're getting a little bit of pressure on the map. We had a Zealot walked it across the middle of the map, and we'll be retreating right away. But the Stalker, of course, coming as well. And it's going to allow for some pokes. You just need to see those command centers up. This is all this is really designed to do.
And Avenge is deciding to go ahead for a one-gate robo before he expands. Of course, so many players now are just fond of one gate into expands. Now, Avenge may just want a very good eye on what his opponent is doing, too. Terran players love using aggression on this map. The walk distance is pretty short, easy to drop a lot of different places. Nice job there, picking off the Zealot, not losing any units in return, but of course the command center is seeing them. That's exactly what Avenge set out to do.
Strong play though from Maru. Did you see that? He actually got a little bit of shots with the Stalker and then realized, oh no, I need to get rid of the Zealot. Jumped out of that bunker to try and kill it off really quickly. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but you can tell just where the metagame's going and what people know these little pokes are made for. Following up into a couple of wrecks, pretty normal from Maru. He likes to have a couple of Marauder plays here and there. I'm actually a little bit curious as to what Avenge is going to be going for. He went to the one gate into the Robo.
Into a second gate.
Yeah, second gate as well. So looks like he really wants to put a little bit of pressure on while maybe expanding behind it. Because if you want to go for expansion, you want the most efficient way, you're going to go one racks into expansion and then follow up in your attack. So he will be having a little bit of pressure available to him.
Yeah, you know, this is in this day and age especially giving up a lot of economic advantage to Maru, though. I mean, Maru went for that very early expansion. Was still a one-racks expand. It wasn't like it was command center first. But of course, he's got double mules down. He's got double SEV production. You can see that Avenge has completely cut production for a pretty long period of time, only just now restarting his probes. Scan goes down and sees an already finished couple of gateways and that robotics facility.
Yeah, I'm just really curious as to what Avenge will go for. I'm assuming maybe he scouted to look for if there's any just one base play. Maru has been doing a lot of one base play as of late, and a couple of his Code A plays, and just going for a straight up all in. So I just feel like Avenge is a little scared of Maru, but it does look like he's got that Nexus down finally, following him to an Immortal, which is a bit of a safer route. You really don't get too aggressive with Immortals, and PVT anyways. You want to go ahead and move up the chain and get some tech out. So he's playing so defensive and weird. Just trying to get a nap or a style, and I can't really read him quite yet.
All right. Well, we'll see what he does here in just a bit. Roving pack, the gang of sentries, if you will, do take down that SCV. Stepped into the wrong neighborhood for a while. But Maru now moving out. Looks like he's going to put down a couple more add-ons. He doesn't have that. I mean, he didn't explicitly see the expansion, I guess I should say. He doesn't know what's actually following this up. It is going to be 4 gates in total. The Immortal production has completely stopped, so I really want to see what Avenge is going to do with this or how he's going to follow this up, because for now, there seems like a big Immortal Sentry push.
Yeah, just wants to get a little aggressive, maybe kill some bunkers, and maybe lift a force off of the command center. I don't think his force is really big enough to straight up kill off Maru. How many gateways did he follow up into? We got the 3rd and 4th one, and that's it?
That's it.
So this is 4 gateway with a couple of Immortals. So yeah, it's just looking like a little bit of pressure. Pop down in the natural, try and maybe kill off a bunker, get a couple of force fields down, and maybe get that command center to lift up and get your opponent to pull back. And that will give him a chance to get equal in terms of economy, because again, the build order is a little weird. So we'll see how this goes for Avenge.
You can see that they're pretty even on workers at the moment due to the power of force fields, but of course, not force fields, but of Chrono Boost, because he has been able to catch up in that regard pretty well.
Wow.
But Maru has actually, oh yes.
This is just really, it's interesting. First off, a lot of players usually have this ledge covered. Oh my gosh, nice job doing here. He's just going to warp into the main and then push up the natural at the same time and just beat Maru through multi-point aggression. But Maru was set up. All his SCVs already at the natural. It was really interesting at first what he was going for, but it really is hindered off your opponent not scouting it. So Zealots do make it in.
Yeah, I mean, with so many SCVs pulled off the line, that is a massive amount of economic damage that's already being done, not to mention the fact that these Zealots are starting to work through a couple of units here inside of the main. And even if all they do is take down a Marine and pull yet more units off the line, then they've certainly done their job, but it looks like this Zealot is actually going to town, killing a couple of workers too. And a Marauder fell.
What a cool harassment-esque like build from Avenge. I think Maru really over-accentuated it, but still, really cool. Well done overall, and that really does help him. Like, you're right. Look at these SCVs. They're still not mining yet in the main. Just so darn painful. And Maru gears up for, looks like, a little bit of pressure. He's going to go ahead and probably use that drop to head around to the side and go into the main.
And look at that worker disparity, 52 to 40 right now. So Avenge has completely made up that difference in economy that he had suffered early in this game. He's got enough production that he can actually receive a pretty decent sized attack, and Maru's given away all his advantages. So Avenge is just playing really well. Now, Maru did really overreact to this. He pulled way too many workers off the line to try and deal with it. Of course, he didn't want to lose the bunker in case it was some sort of a big all-in. He still hadn't explicitly seen the Nexus up to that point, but still.
Yeah, the scouting was really important there from Maru. It's just unfortunate that he didn't ever walk in the natural or even waste a scan on doing that. He really wanted to get that economy booming. And at that point, if you don't know your opponent's going for a natural, it's worth the scan to check it out. Just get an idea so you don't overact like that.
Right.
But Maru is going to get a little aggressive here, and he needs to as well, because Avenge is moving into Colossus already, moving up in upgrades, grabbing that Thermal Lance at the same time, and also going up Blink. This is a really prime time for him to hit and do some kind of damage.
A little shocked that concussive shell wasn't researched a bit earlier on. That actually would have served him pretty well in defending against the initial attack that hit him with the 4 Zealots that were warped into his main, and would have allowed him to pick off a Stalker or 2 there inside of Avenge's base. But alas, it's not to be. Maru regathers his forces, and he's about to head through the front. No 3rd base down for either player yet. Of course, this map does tend to stabilize on 2 bases for a while in PvT.
Well, I like him. Maru already moving straight into Viking productions. Keeping very careful with these medevacs. He does not want to lose them because he has a very low amount on the field. I actually think he has about 4, maybe 5 at the moment.
Check.
Yeah, 5. So he has 5 on the map here. So if he loses 2 of these, he is in for a world of hurt because he's wanting to go straight into Viking production, period. He hasn't moved into their command center yet either. So needs to be really careful, and you see that. Those Stalkers being there, he immediately retreats, doesn't even want to deal with it. And a nice pile on there for Avenge.
Yeah, of course that was what gave vision to those, and he was able to shift those Stalkers into perfect position. Taking a look at things now, though, what do we got? A total of 6 gateways up, it appears. Single Forge now researching +1 weapons, and there we go, finally a 3rd base popping out of one of our players here. Maru, starting to work into a 2nd starport, and actually building an additional command center, and I wonder what his plan is going to be from here on out.
Well, it looks like he wants to just go for a pure army crush. He wants to surprise the opponent with a sudden huge amount of Vikings and just crush the Colossus and just stem and run in with concussive shells. And he might be poised to do so as well. I think he's finally pulling his Vikings. I see a huge trail of units. Yeah, he's just pulling them up in the middle, but look at that. Avenge is well aware of what's coming. He's even stopped making probes as well.
Yes. So, I mean, even with the 3 bases, he was very well saturated on 257 probes, especially with the diminished mining and a couple of these mineral patches starting to mine out. We'll start to see a few of those shift over there. Of course, this is going to be where the focus of the engagement is. Maru will be able to very easily go through this set of destructible debris and start to pressure up that side if he so desires. And is going to split his opponent's forces a little bit. It's going to be up to Avenge, though, to really decide what part of this army he wants to engage.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe one more bin of Stalkers and then follow up into just pure Zealots afterwards. He has enough Stalkers to deal with the Vikings pretty nicely. Although 4 are coming out at a time, so maybe that might be a little bit harder to pull off. But Zealots are really important against this Bioforce here. You want to have your Colossus really just tear through that whole entire, all those units with the area effect damage, and the Zealots just hold them back nicely. Sonic Storm is on the way as well. Avenge just moving up in tech, just waiting very carefully here, poking off a couple of units. Maru is just looking in a bad position. Is he pulling SUVs now?
Oh, that probably is.
Yep, there they are.
Here we go.
That
All right.
train.
Well, it's going to come down to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be one big attack, and if Avenge can hold, he's going to be in a fine position. Now, he actually doesn't have any sort of an upgrade advantage, which is weird for a 3-base Protoss in this sort of position with this big of an army. Maru does actually have a 1 upgrade advantage for about the next 30 seconds if you include Chrono Boost, so there is an opening for Maru to try and do some damage, and it looks like that's what he's trying to hit right now.
Oh, Kevin, this is so scary. He needs to have Sonic Storm. It's really helpful against those SCVs. He's poking with what he can with these Stalkers, but doing a full blink back, nice force fields, keeping this army back. Sonic Storm is almost done. He is just waiting for it to pop out, and it's about to be ready.
Okay, well, Sonic Storm not quite finished yet, and he's already lost 2 of his 3 Colossi. He has done a nice job of picking off a few Vikings, so the Vikings are continuing to reinforce. These force fields have just been great, though. Maru would have just overrun this army a while ago if he hadn't been able to drop those down. Psionic Storm finishing up in 3, 2, 1, done! And here it goes. He's starting to move himself into a better position.
Where's the Storms? There they go, finally landing them, but is it enough? Has he lost too much already? He did lose his 1 Colossus, and the engagement is coming. Maru is moving forward with that upgrade advantage. The Storms were just too late, and it looks like Avenge is in a lot of trouble, although he did lose all his SCVs here, so he has to crush this army and move into the natural and start killing economy with the Viking land as well, though it looks like Maru might just have this.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to. He's now killed, well, 31 workers killed to 30 their workers being killed en masse during the entirety of this game. A couple more units are warping in, of course, but Avenge doesn't have that many workers sitting over at his 3rd, so his economy is not that healthy. He's trying to reproduce whatever he can at this point, but they're on relatively equal economies, honestly, at this point. There's a massive army advantage for Maru, and I don't see how Avenge is going to be able to rally back against that.
Did Avenge warp any high templars into the main? I can't see anything on the field. No, he hasn't. If you would have warped in a couple, waited for these to move up the ramp, maybe he would have held us way better, but unfortunately, he didn't whatsoever. Now he's forced to pull probes, and even dealt with Marine Marauders with upgrades. They destroy everything in the way. GG, Avenge falls to Maru.
That's right, so Maru, good game there. Avenging his teammate creator before, so we have a 1-1 tie going into game number 3.
Well, guys, awesome game overall. I actually thought Maru was a bit of a pinch there, but that timing was just a little bit too late for Avenge. Had he had that Psionic Storm ready to go and he didn't lose his Colossus as well, he would have held that. But Maru, too darn good, man. Too many Vikings killing them off immediately there. He had so many that he could actually commit completely to killing off a Colossus over those Stalkers. So well done by Maru, and we are at a 1-1, which is great because I love close series.
All right, well, Startale's going to bring in a Zerg player next, and it's going to be Sun. So Startale's Sun coming in against Maru Prime. The map is going to be Daybreak. We're going to run to a commercial break. We'll be right back after this.